Hi there, this is Scott Campshafer coming to you live from my office in Austin, Texas. And I want to welcome you to this Facebook Live today where I want to talk to you about the phenomenon of emotional numbness. And this is something that is very life sapping for a lot of people who experience it. Not because they want to, but just because they don't have the ability to feel, whereas other people in the same circumstances would have feelings and emotions. Some people, the goal is to get numb. If they're in too much pain or whatever, they may seek chemicals or other substances to help them not feel and try to bring them back down to this condition of what they perceive as normalcy. So one of the main things to understand is that in both cases, a lot of these individuals have experienced trauma, which has caused shock, which has robbed them of the ability to feel their feelings that otherwise at that time would have been too much to take. So it serves a purpose, but it's still not the ideal situation. Especially as time goes on. Maybe in the moment it was important, but later on, the emotional numbness tends to work against people instead of serving them. So, but one of the things I think it's important to be aware of is that if you aren't chemically inducing your numbness or using addictions or compulsions to create it, at least you have an awareness of feeling numb, and that's a starting point. Even though it's not feeling an emotion, and numbness is at least a placeholder for another emotion that the condition of shock took away from the individual. And in any case, what you can do, short of using and abusing substances and other addictive behaviors, is you can find ways to engage your body in experiences that will create sensations and feelings, because folks who have had trauma typically have an inability to, or typically function from the neck up in their lives. And the more you can engage your body, like holding an ice cube, or getting vigorous exercise or doing yoga, the better chance you have of bringing sensation back into your body, and that way at least creating a better chance of being able to feel. Even if it's not necessarily an emotion at the time, you're engaged with your body senses. The other thing is to look at possibly engaging in trauma therapy, because if people do have emotional numbness, they've had shock that has been part of a traumatic experience for them, and it's important to treat the shock so that the numbness doesn't have to continue unabated, and these people can go forward and feel emotions and other feelings that are important as signs for how to deal with life. Because if all you feel is numb, then you really don't have your emotions, the other emotions that would help you to understand and be signs of how you're supposed to get around in the world, and reactions that can give you clues as to what you need to do to take action. So, so that being said, if you live in the Austin or Central Texas area and you do realize that your numbness is at least partly due to some form of trauma, then I encourage you to give me a call or email me, or otherwise go to my website and contact me so that I can consult with you to see if I could help you with some form of trauma therapy. There are lots of people who do practice trauma therapy, and if you live in another area, then I encourage you to look up trauma therapists in your area. But the main thing to understand is that emotional numbness is not it's not a true feeling, and the more that you can work on what it is that caused that numbness instead of just self-medicating, the better chance you have of leading a fuller, richer life and experiencing all the joy and happiness that life was meant to offer you. So that's all that I'm going to say for today. So I thank you so much for watching. I wish you the best of mental health, emotional health, and all that life has to offer you. And take good care, and I hope to talk to you again sometime soon.